Hey everyone, I am your Elizabeth here. Hope you're having a great day today, and without wasting any time, take a look at this.
The youngest and perhaps the best White House press secretary in history. Caroline, where's Caroline? Doing a fantastic job, Caroline. She keeps me straight. She keeps me, no, sir, you can't do that. You can't do this. I can't do anything. Life would be so much more exciting, wouldn't it? Thank you, Caroline. Great.
All right, buckle up, because the political circus is back in town, and this time the clowns have brought fireworks, a full orchestra, and apparently an unlimited supply of gasoline. If you thought things couldn't get more absurd, you haven't been paying attention to what just went down with Desi Lydic. And let me tell you, this isn't just another political dust-up. This is the kind of chaos that makes you wonder if we're all living in a reality show that forgot it was supposed to end years ago. So here's what happened. Comedian Desi Lydic, who has made a career out of saying the things everyone else is thinking but is too polite to utter, decided to stop playing nice. She stepped onto the stage, grabbed the mic with the confidence of someone who knows they're about to set the internet on fire, and threw some shade at Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. And I'm not talking about a little side eye or a gentle ribbing. I'm talking about shade so sharp it could puncture the tires of the beast, the presidential limousine, while it's moving at full speed on a highway. Let me paint you a picture. The moment those words left her mouth, you could almost feel the collective gasp of the audience. It wasn't a joke that lands with a polite chuckle. It was the kind of roast that makes you wince and laugh at the same time. The kind that doesn't just land, it detonates. You know those moments where you're watching something and you immediately think, oh, that's going to be everywhere tomorrow? Yeah, this was that times about 1,000. Her delivery was surgical, precise, and completely unapologetic. And honestly, that's what made it so beautiful. She didn't dance around it. She didn't try to soften the blow. She just stood there, said her piece, and let the chips fall where they may.
The president has called on credit card companies to lower the cap rate to 10% effective the 20th next week. If they don't do that, what's his... What'll he do? What's the threat?
Well, tariffs? No, I'm just kidding. The president certainly has an expectation, Josh, that the credit card companies will do this, just as he did with the pharmaceutical companies, that they will lower costs for American consumers. I don't have a specific consequence to outline for you, but certainly this is an expectation and, frankly, a demand that the president has made.
And the internet? Oh, the internet did what it does best. It exploded. But not just a little explosion. We're talking about a full-scale, multi-platform, Category 5 social media meltdown. Twitter didn't just buzz. It had a full-blown seizure. Within minutes, my feed was a never-ending scroll of clips, memes, and hot takes that just kept coming like an endless wave of digital chaos. Every reaction video tried to outdo the last, with creators racing to post their takes before the algorithm shifted. And suddenly, Caroline Leavitt, who probably woke up that morning thinking her biggest problem was picking out an outfit or figuring out how to spin some policy disaster, found herself as the unwilling star of a viral freak show. Let's think about that for a second. Here's a woman whose job is to stand at a podium and deliver carefully crafted messages, and now she's the subject of 1,000 memes, each one more ridiculous than the last. People were dissecting her every blink, her every facial expression, her every possible reaction, like she was a character in a satirical version of a reality TV confessional. Did she see the clip? Is she angry? Is she laughing? Does she even know she's become the internet's newest obsession? The speculation alone generated enough content to keep the content mills running for a week. And the best part? Most of it was completely unhinged, and I loved every second of it. Now, here's the kicker. You would think the smart move for Trump's team would be to let this fizzle out, right? Just ignore it. Let the comedian have her moment. Pretend it never happened. That's what any competent political operation would do. Let the news cycle move on to the next outrage. But no, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Donald Trump saw the smoke in the distance and decided he needed to show up with a flamethrower, a tank of gasoline, and a pack of matches just to be sure. He flared up like a shaken soda can left in the sun for way too long. And honestly, if drama were an Olympic sport, he'd have a gold medal collection that would make Michael Phelps jealous. I'm talking about a full cabinet full of medals. The The man doesn't just react to things, he performs reactions. He turns every slight, real or imagined, into a theatrical production with himself as the star, the director, and the guy selling popcorn in the lobby. His reaction wasn't just a response, it was a performance. It was theatrical, over the top, and designed to suck all the oxygen out of the room in record time. He took what was already a viral dumpster fire and poured gasoline on it, threw in a few matches, and then stood back to admire his work while ensuring that nobody could talk about anything else for the foreseeable future. Because in his world, silence isn't an option. Every comment has to be louder, sharper, and more chaotic than the last. If someone else is getting attention, that's a problem that needs to be fixed immediately. And his preferred fix is always, always more drama. And that's when this whole thing transformed. It stopped being about a comedian's joke, no matter how sharp, and became a full-blown collision of personalities, each one more fascinating to watch than the last. On one side, you have Desi, delivering razor-sharp satire with the precision of a surgeon who knows exactly where to cut. She's not just making people laugh, she's making a point, and she's doing it in a way that forces people to pay attention. On the other side, you have Caroline, who didn't ask for any of this, caught in the crossfire, becoming the internet's favorite accidental meme. And then there's Trump, amplifying everything like a human foghorn, refusing to let the story fade no matter how much sense it would make to just move on. It's honestly hilarious to watch when you step back and look at the absurdity of it all. I mean, at this point, I'm half convinced they're all in on the joke and we're the ones getting played. Like maybe there's a writer's room somewhere and they're just testing how far they can push things before the audience finally taps out. But we're not tapping out. We're leaning in. We're refreshing our feeds. We're watching every new development with the kind of attention usually reserved for season finales of prestige television. Because this isn't politics anymore, let's be real. This stopped being about policy or governance a long time ago. This is a live-action comedy sketch with an unlimited budget, zero script supervision, and actors who are completely committed to their roles. The boundaries between political commentary, viral humor, and public reaction have collapsed entirely. We're living in an ecosystem where a comedian's joke can dominate the news cycle for days, where a press secretary can become a meme overnight, and where a former president's reaction can guarantee that the story never, ever dies. The feedback loop is incredible to watch. Every clip gets shared, then reacted to, then memed, then analyzed, then parodied, and then the parodies get shared and reacted to all over again. It's a perpetual motion machine of content. And the best part, nobody's in control. Not Desi, not Caroline, not even Trump. The story has taken on a life of its own, and we're all just along for the ride, refreshing our feeds every few minutes to see what new twist has emerged. So here's my take on all of this. Desi Lydic just proved something important. In this digital age, a sharp punchline delivered at the right moment is more powerful than a dozen press releases. She cut through the noise, made her point, and had everyone talking without needing a podium or a formal statement. That's real influence. That's the kind of cultural power that traditional media can only dream of. Meanwhile, Trump's reaction showed exactly why he continues to dominate media cycles no matter what else is happening in the world. The man can't help himself. He sees attention going somewhere else, and his instinct is to grab it, pull it back, and make sure all eyes are on him again. It's predictable at this point, but it's also effective. He took a minor jab and turned it into a major spectacle, ensuring that for at least another news cycle, everyone's talking about him. And poor Caroline Leavitt, she's just living proof that in this circus, even the quiet ones end up in the center ring, whether they like it or not. She didn't ask for any of this. She was just doing her job. But now she's part of the lore, forever linked to this moment in internet history. Every time her name comes up from now on, someone's going to mention the Desi Lydic thing. That's just how it works. The internet never forgets, and it certainly never forgives anyone for being boring. The whole saga has become this perfect example of how modern discourse operates. Humor acts as the spark that ignites everything. Viral reactions amplify it across every platform imaginable. And explosive responses from major figures feed the cycle, creating a feedback loop that refuses to slow down or fade away. It's a self-sustaining ecosystem of absurdity, and we're all trapped inside it, watching with the same fascination you might have for a chaotic, unscripted reality show where the producers have completely lost control. And honestly, I'm not complaining. In a world where news is often depressing and politics can be genuinely terrifying, having something this absurd to focus on feels almost therapeutic. It's a reminder that for all the seriousness of the moment, we can still laugh at the ridiculousness of it all. We can still enjoy a well-delivered roast, a perfectly timed meme, or a completely over-the-top reaction from someone who clearly doesn't understand the concept of letting things go. So here we are, days later, and we're still talking about it, still sharing clips, still wondering what's going to happen next. Will Desi follow up with another punchline? Will Caroline finally break her silence? Will Trump find a way to escalate things even further, if that's even possible? The answer to all of these questions is probably yes, and that's exactly why we can't look away. Because in this circus, the show never ends. It just keeps getting more entertaining.